She isn't a movie star. She isn't a singer. She's not working for a billion-dollar corporation. And yet, she makes more money in an hour than most people do in a week. Welcome to the world of OnlyFans, a digital empire that has disrupted the adult entertainment industry, challenged traditional business models, and turned everyday individuals into millionaires. But behind the glamour, behind the money, lies a story of controversy, censorship battles, financial wars, and a company that nearly lost everything in an attempt to clean up its image. This is the story of the OnlyFans, how it changed an industry forever. It all started in 2016 inside a modest London apartment where Tim Stokely, a 33-year-old British entrepreneur, sat at his desk staring at his laptop screen. The glow from his monitor reflected off the whiteboard behind him, which was filled with sketches of business models, payment structures, and user flow diagrams. His previous ventures, Glam Girls and Customs for You, had already attempted to capitalize on the growing market for adult content. Glam Girls was a premium adult site that allowed models to monetize private photos and videos, while Customs for You focused on a more interactive approach, where fans could request personalized adult content directly from performers. Both platforms showed promise but never scaled the way he had hoped. Well, you know what the problem was? They were too focused on a single industry. The adult industry was profitable, but it was also high risk, unstable, and under constant fire from regulators, banks, and governments. If a platform depended solely on explicit content, it would always be at the mercy of payment processors, censorship laws, and mainstream media scrutiny. Tim needed something different, something bigger. As he scrolled through social media, Stokely noticed a trend. Influencers were growing massive followings but struggling to monetize their audiences. Fitness trainers were posting free workouts but couldn't get enough sponsorships. Musicians had thousands of fans but relied on streaming platforms that paid pennies per stream. Artists and chefs were showcasing their talents online but had no way to turn engagement into real income. Platforms like Patreon had already introduced a subscription model for artists, but it came with strict content policies and heavy competition. What if there was a platform that allowed complete creative freedom, one where anyone could monetize their content on their own terms? That was when the idea clicked. A subscription-based platform where fans paid creators directly for exclusive content. No middlemen, no ad revenue, no dependency on sponsorships or brand deals. Stokely knew he had something revolutionary, but to bring his vision to life, he needed funding. Most tech startups secure investments from venture capitalists. Stokely, however, took a different route. He turned to his father, Guy Stokely, a retired banker. Guy had supported his son's previous business ventures even when they failed, but this time he was skeptical. He asked, "Another website, Tim? What makes this one different?" Tim laid out the business model, emphasizing how OnlyFans would put financial power directly into the hands of creators, a concept at the time was almost unheard of. Eventually, his father agreed to invest £10,000 to launch the platform. With funding secured, Tim hired a small team of developers, and within months, the first version of OnlyFans was ready. OnlyFans went live in 2016, but in the beginning, it was nothing like the billion-dollar empire it would become later. Tim reached out to influencers, fitness trainers, musicians, chefs, and artists, pitching the platform as a way to generate steady income directly from their fans. Some were interested, well, most weren't. The question he kept hearing was the same. Why would people pay for content when they can get so much for free on YouTube and Instagram? Growth was slow, users trickled in, but OnlyFans wasn't taking off the way Stokely had hoped. Then something unexpected happened. In 2018, the adult industry was going through a massive shift. Traditional porn studios were losing their grip as more models and performers were moving towards independent work. Performers had built huge followings on Instagram and Twitter, but there was a problem. They couldn't monetize their audience. They relied on third-party sites that took massive cuts. They had no control over their content. Then some models discovered OnlyFans, a platform that allowed them to charge directly for their content, keep 80% of their profits, and set their own rules. They started signing up in droves. At first, Tim Stokely didn't plan for OnlyFans to be an adult content-driven platform, but he didn't stop it either. Why? Because suddenly the platform was struggling to grow, was exploding. Subscriber numbers soared, creators were making thousands, then millions. OnlyFans became the go-to platform for independent adult content creators. By 2020, OnlyFans had transformed from a niche subscription service to a global powerhouse. But with great success came great controversy. Governments, payment processors, the media, they were all watching. And soon OnlyFans would face the biggest battle of its existence. The traditional adult entertainment industry had long been dominated by major studios and websites like Pornhub and Brazzers. Performers had to work under contracts, splitting their earnings with managers, directors, and distributors. But OnlyFans changed the game. It offered something adult content creators had never had before: total financial and creative control. Instead of relying on studios, models could now set their own prices, control their own content, keep 80% of the profits. OnlyFans took a 20% cut, build a direct relationship with their fans. By 2018, sex workers, models, and adult influencers flooded the platform. Their success was undeniable. Suddenly, creators were making 6, even 7 figures a year without middlemen taking a massive cut. This shift shattered the traditional power structure of the adult entertainment industry. Studios were losing money. Middlemen were becoming irrelevant. The industry was evolving and OnlyFans was leading the charge. By 2020, OnlyFans was no longer just a niche platform. It had become a global financial powerhouse. The COVID-19 pandemic supercharged its growth, forcing millions of people, from entertainers and influencers to everyday workers, to look for alternative income streams. Traditional industries were shutting down, with unemployment rising, many turning to the internet to make money. And where did they go? OnlyFans. The business model was perfect for the pandemic era. No need for in-person work, complete control over content, instant cash flow. OnlyFans user base exploded. In 2019, the platform had around 7 million users. By mid-2020, that number jumped to 50 million users. And by 2023, the platform had over 170 million registered users and 3 million content creators. Total creator earnings in 2023 were a staggering $5.3 billion, up from $4.5 billion in 2022. OnlyFans revenue in 2023 was $1.3 billion, a record-breaking year. The company would take a 20% cut of all earnings. OnlyFans was printing money at a speed no one could have ever predicted. As OnlyFans grew, so did the amount of money individual creators were making. For the first time, performers, influencers, and everyday people had the ability to turn their own personal brand into a 6 or even 7-figure business. Blac Chyna earned $240 million in 2021. Bella Thorne earned $1 million in her first 24 hours. Amaranth earned $1.5 million per month. Mia Khalifa earned over $6 million per year from OnlyFans. Even non-adult content creators were chasing in. Floyd Mayweather launched an OnlyFans to interact with fans. Cardi B used the platform to share exclusive behind-the-scenes content. Chefs, fitness trainers, and musicians started earning thousands per month. It was a financial revolution. But with billions in circulation, OnlyFans started attracting unwanted attention. Bankers, investors, regulators, and the media were now watching closely. As OnlyFans grew, so did its problems. For years, the adult industry has faced a silent enemy: banks and credit card companies. Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal have strict policies against using adult content transactions. Even though OnlyFans had become the world's biggest direct-to-fan platform, it relied entirely on banks to function. Banks feared money laundering. Credit card companies didn't want their names tied to an adult content industry. Religious and conservative groups lobbied against the platform. As OnlyFans' top earners became millionaires, piracy skyrocketed. Massive content leaks hit the platform multiple times, with thousands of creators' photos and videos stolen and distributed for free across the internet. In 2019, a leak exposed thousands of OnlyFans creators' content on third-party sites. In 2020, a terabyte-sized leak containing content from hundreds of OnlyFans accounts went viral. In 2021, high-profile creators reported their private content being resold without permission. OnlyFans responded by strengthening security, but the damage was already done. creators were losing control of their content. As the money flowed, so did the scrutiny. Several reports surfaced about underage users creating accounts and selling content on the platform. BBC reported cases of underage content slipping through the verification process. Law enforcement agencies raised concerns about exploitation. Governments began looking into potential regulations. OnlyFans tightened security, increased ID verification, and banned certain content categories, but it was clear OnlyFans was now a target. Despite the constant threats of regulation, banking restrictions, and security risks, the platform was still printing money. The question was for how long? Would OnlyFans survive the backlash, or would financial institutions and government finally crush the empire it had built? With billions of dollars flowing in, OnlyFans was no longer just a niche website. It had become a powerful, controversial force. And with that success came immense scrutiny. In August 2021, OnlyFans shocked the world by announcing it would ban sexually explicit content. The internet erupted, creators revolted, investors and media outlets called it corporate suicide. For a platform that built its fortune on adult content, this was seen as an act of betrayal. But why? Why would a company willingly abandon its most profitable creators? The truth is, OnlyFans wasn't calling the shots. The real power was in the hands of the banks. Financial giants like Visa and MasterCard had refused to process payments for adult content. Without them, OnlyFans couldn't function. No transactions, no platform. Then came the investors. OnlyFans wasn't just looking to dominate the adult industry. It wanted mainstream appeal, corporate sponsorships, and legitimacy. But major brands didn't want their names tied to explicit content. To secure future deals, the company had to clean up its image. And behind the scenes, a powerful movement was gaining traction. Anti-porn organizations like Exodus Cry had been waging a war against adult content platforms, lobbying for stricter regulations, pressurizing the government, and targeting sites like OnlyFans. Faced with mounting pressure, OnlyFans made a desperate move. It announced a ban. But what happened next? No one saw coming. OnlyFans creators threatened to leave in mass exodus to alternative platforms like Fansly and Just for Fans. Within days, the company reversed its decision, realizing that without adult content, it would lose everything. Despite its meteoric rise, OnlyFans was facing a crisis. One that money alone couldn't fix. Massive leaks swept across the internet. Thousands of creators woke up to find their private content stolen, circulating on unauthorized sites with no way to take it back. Then came the cybersecurity failures. Hackers exposed sensitive user data, raising serious concerns about privacy. Creators who had built their entire brands exclusively suddenly found themselves vulnerable. And the accusations didn't stop there. Critics claimed that OnlyFans wasn't doing enough to prevent exploitation. Reports surfaced of underage users slipping through verification and content being stolen and resold without consent. The cracks were showing. The censorship war was just the beginning. Today, OnlyFans remains a dominant force. The platform has tried to rebrand itself beyond adult content, pushing fitness coaches, musicians, and celebrities. However, adult content still accounts for the majority of its revenue. The industry has permanently changed. Performers now have financial independence, making adult studios less relevant than ever. OnlyFans didn't just disrupt the adult industry, it created a new economy where content creators hold the power. OnlyFans may not last forever, but what it created, financial freedom for creators, a shift in the adult industry, and a billion-dollar empire will never be forgotten. OnlyFans built an empire by giving back power to the creators. But with increasing regulations, controversies, and banking restrictions, the future remains uncertain. Will OnlyFans continue to dominate, or will new platforms rise to challenge it? One thing is certain, OnlyFans changed the adult entertainment industry forever. OnlyFans exposed the hidden power of the adult industry. But what if I told you fast fashion had an even darker secret? Click here to watch the dark truth behind fast fashion's biggest brand next, before it's too late.